Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Dynamite Ring for no AEW Rampage. That's still going on right now, but we're going to kick things off and focus on AEW Dynamite. Shocking events happen tonight. You won't believe coming up. We talk about this. Kenny Omega returns to Dynamite, and you won't believe the brutal beatdown what happened to Omega at the very end. Also, too, we get to a lot going on here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Let's give you the rundown on what's going to happen on Dynamite right now. Chris Jericho, the Learning Tree, takes on Shibata for the FTW Championship. Also, to Mariah May, Tony Storm's protege, takes on the #1 contenders for the AEW Women's title, Serena Deeb. Brian Cage takes on Claudio in a big match between the test of strength. Samoa Joe, the returning former AEW champion, takes on Isaiah Cassidy. And Edge, Adam Copeland, better known as Edge, the Radar Superstar, goes against one of the members of the House of Black for the TNT Championship. I kind of knew he was going to be anyway. And we told you Omega's going to return. Plus, Swerve Strickland. He finds out who his #1 contender for his title. His first title defense, well, not first title defense, but his first pay-per-view title defense at Double or Nothing. And we'll hear from Orange Cassidy on what's going on. Also, too, we learned that Drew McIntyre appeared on the Pat McAfee show. You won't believe what Drew said. It was a little bit shocking at those reports that he had went at the CM Punk at the Raw this past Monday's Raw, and that promo that him and Punk traded shots against each other. And we here to talk about more coming up. So, let's not waste no time. Let's get the Pro Wrestling Show started right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Timothy Dixon. Glad you're joining to the Pro Wrestling Show for the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is here. Tell somebody or ask somebody about subscribe, so you won't miss a thing. All right, let's not waste no time whatsoever. Let's get this AEW Dynamite Ring Report started with the Radar Superstar, better known as TNT Champion Adam Copeland. I think I'm just gonna still call him Edge. So most of the time I might say Edge, but hey, I'm so used to seeing him as Edge. Edge, the grizzled veteran, took on one of the members of the House of Black. Which House of Black member was it going to be between Edge going tonight? Edge wanted to know for himself on how he was going to go and how he was going to be handle this. He went against Buddy Murphy. I call him Buddy Matthews, but they call him Buddy Murphy. But Buddy Murphy and Edge had their beef tonight, and what a beef it was. Edge gained the victory over Buddy Murphy by doing what he needed to do to get the upper hand and the advantage. Edge went against Buddy Murphy, but at the end, Buddy Murphy came out there. I knew it was going to be Buddy Murphy from the jump anyway. So Edge was trying to see who it was going to be, and it turned out to be Buddy Murphy. But we're going to probably get Edge versus Aleister Black at Double or Nothing for the TNT Championship. That's a given. I can tell you that right now. Edge versus Adam Black one-on-one for the TNT Championship. So look for that coming your way. Edge was trying to figure out and weed out which member, because the House of Black member, Malachi Black was trying to get his attention. He did. He did what he did for tonight. And we'll see Malachi versus Edge one-on-one, probably at Double or Nothing. Also, too, former AEW champion Samoa Joe made his return after losing the championship at Dynasty. Samoa Joe took on Isaiah Cassidy. Isaiah Cassidy, the pretty boy Floyd, let me say, he was in action against Samoa Joe. He took his skills against Joe tonight. Samoa Joe. And you know what? Samoa Joe made quick work of him, taking the pretty boy Floyd down with this muscle buster to get the 1, 2, 3. And that pretty boy Floyd didn't see it coming, as he saw. Well, also, too, early on in the show, the Young Bucks, the new executive vice presidents, tried to dismay their actions last week after the EVPs attacked their boss, Tony Khan, and saying they're running the show now. I think they like to say change the world by taking over the world in New World Order style. What they call it, infrared takeover or something. The takeover has been complete. The hostile takeover. That's what it looked like, a hostile takeover match. And that's what they're trying to do with the power and stuff. But we'll get to the Young Bucks later on what they did that was really diabolical and devious, to say the least. But they thought they did to Tony Khan was even more sickening and disgusting. And I'll get to that a little bit later. Also, too, Christian Cage returned out of nowhere, attack Swerve Strickland. Thought it was gonna be Swerve versus one of the Young Bucks, probably Young Boy Jack Perry or Power Control, but they want to pivot and change, do a different storyline. Christian going against Swerve, and Christian will be Swerve's first challenger for his first pay-per-view defense for the world title. Can Christian become a world champion once again on defeat beating up Swerve like he did? But I really thought it would have made sense since Swerve was a vocal supporter of Tony Khan to take the fight to the elite and maybe go against Jack Perry or Collar for the world title. They didn't want to do that, but I mean that's their business. They didn't want nobody to look weak and stuff. But Christian will get that first shot. Can Christian become the next AEW champion? That's a possibility. But Mother Wayne and Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus all gathered around as they could probably see Christian be the next champion of the of you know what of the AEW, I guess. But we'll see how this is going to play out for Christian coming up. Speaking of that, we get to more action as Brian Cage takes on Claudio Cesaro in the test of strength match. When you look at both men are equally matched and equally impressive. Claudio with his physical abilities as well as Brian Cage. Where Brian Cage wanted to display his match. Both men are former world champions in their own right. Cage, a former TNA champion, as well as Claudio, former Ring of Honor champion. Claudio did not waste no time whatsoever to hesitate and applied the sharpshooter and added pressure to Cage and made Cage tap out. And Cage did tap out of it. Cage didn't find the remnants, and he lost to Claudio. For Claudio coming to the aid. You know what? What is this conspiring mind doing with Orange Cassidy? Orange Cassidy a standout in AEW. We see that Don Callis may be trying to get in the head of Orange Cassidy and maybe seeing Orange Cassidy do something that we never thought. Talked and turned heel. Orange Cassidy said Chuck Taylor will never wrestle again, and Orange Cassidy saying Trent Barrella got a lot of problems. This will come to a head next week on Dynamite when Orange Cassidy takes on Trent Barrella one-on-one. We'll see how this is going to go between these two men that once were best friends. Now they're just bitter enemies. Speaking of bitter enemies, Renee Prudette got a word with Jack Perry. Jack Perry used to be called Junk Boy. Now he calls himself the scapegoat. Jack Perry getting himself together and the elite. But we little did we know what Jack Perry did, attacking President Tony Khan and leaving Tony Khan off the shelf, not being able to come to Dynamite, but had to do things remotely and stuff. But Junk Boy, I like to say Jack Perry. I always so used to saying Junk Boy, so sorry for excuse. Jack Perry said Tony Khan had it coming. So we'll see Tony Khan had it coming or not, how that went down. Well, the TBS Women's Championship picture is getting very interesting as Will Nightingale got informed, and we see Will Washington, who's one of the creative directors of AEW, told Will Nightingale that she's gonna have to defend her championship one-on-one against Mercedes. So Mercedes Moné will get that one-on-one match against Willow with no interference from Chris Stanley or Stucky Hathaway. They had to do a one-on-one, and I think Willow was kind of a little bit upset about it. So there you go. Well, Serena Deeb took on Mariah May, and Serena Deeb took on Mariah May, one of Tony Storm's apprentices, and put away her down, and didn't see it coming. Now Serena Deeb focused her attentions on Double or Nothing, where she will get her championship match, and she will take on Tony Storm 1-on-1 for the women's championship. So we'll see how that's gonna go. 1-on-1, how they will be the women's championship at Double or Nothing. And Professor make good her claim and win the AEW Women's title. We'll see at Double or Nothing. Well, we get to this. The Learning Tree. Chris Jericho took on Shibata in a match. Chris Jericho saying that he's wanted to be the Learning Tree. He's the FTW champion. Chris Jericho put the championship on the line against Shibata. He had a lot of matches. It was kind of like hardcore element matches. I guess the FTW championship is sort of like a hardcore championship. And the elements in the match and how it went down. As you see, Big Bill was watching on. I think Big Bill's more impressed with Jericho. We could see Big Bill and Jericho be forming an alliance one way or another. These two men wants to form, and a lot of things about Jericho. People are looking at Jericho like he needs to retire. He needs to give it up. Jericho ain't gonna give it up. I kind of agree with him a little bit too. Jericho can wrestle limited and have that Ric Flair schedule, like wrestle every now and then and try to put someone over and stuff, not try to put yourself over in many capacities and become a manager for a wrestler and stuff like that. They said Jericho's got a habit of just sucking the new whatever's the newest hot thing. Jericho wants to be around there and be a part of it. So hey, that's how Jericho rolls. Well, speaking of that, the main final segment was Ken Omega, former AEW champion, made his welcome back to his hometown Winnipeg. Ken Omega did not shed light. He went after everyone saying that he has intestines disease. He got to work on try to get his intestines back in order so it doesn't rupture. I don't want to say the name. Really, don't want to botch or nothing, but it's something to do with his intestines. Well, Omega went and targeted his fellow EPs, saying they're not the only ones with the power as well. As Ken Omega has power too as the EVP. Ken Omega had tallied that he will return and need to do what he need to do. He got confronted by a longtime foe, Okada. Okada got Okada and Jack Perry attacked Omega until the Young Bucks came out there trying to fix it. But you knew we kind of not, we kind of know we ain't dumb and naive. The Young Bucks was there to attack Omega as well. Omega got attacked by the Young Bucks, the new elite. Omega got attacked by the Young Bucks, his fellow Young Bucks. That's why they kicked him out of the group because they thought Okada was better. You know, Okada is younger, better, and stronger. As well as Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Well, so we get a eye full right here. This is the final segment into the Dynamite to the Rampage show. And see Omega being carried out. He was about to get carried out, but his security guards got attacked by the Elite. The Elite did something right here. This is despicable. Took the man out of his wheelchair that he was being ruptured and left him laying. That's not true friendship. It's really not true friendship. And they did it to him, did him like a dog and stuff. And I think the Elite will get what's coming to them one way or another down the road for doing what they did. That was real despicable by the Elite. The Elite will pay for it one way or another. They're doing to Tony Khan. They're doing to Ken Omega. Man, that's sick and disgusting. But we'll see what this is going to lead towards next. What sick and twisted, disgusting ways the Elite will do next. Only time will tell. Let's see. That is the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. Let's move forward to Wrestling Hot Topics. Speaking of somebody that has history at AEW and once was the founder of AEW, you got to wonder what Cody Rhodes thinking of all this about his former fellow EVPs turning against each other. And a battle war. I think if Cody was still at AEW, he would probably be in that war as well. Cody now is the reigning WWE champion. Cody Rhodes said something real crazy that he wants to be the most profitable wrestler in WWE. Uh, just keep dreaming, my man. Just keep saying that what you can do for your profits and stuff to make WWE better. Just don't say you profitable. And I believe the only profitable superstar is the only time ever is Stone Cold Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan, The Rock and John Cena. You're not up there yet, Cody. In your first reign, let's stick to your first reign. Then we'll see in a couple of years if you still want to be passionate about WWE. Still got a feeling that he might go to AEW one day, but we'll see. Speaking of that, speaking of AEW stars, Powerhouse Hobbs announced that Sean Ross Sapp revealed that Powerhouse Hobbs might need surgery on his injury. Powerhouse Hobbs, who has been a force to be reckoned with, may have to get surgery on his, what. So we'll see how Powerhouse Hobbs we'll wish him a speedy recovery. We know that next week, Ricochet will take on John Guerrero for the championship, the Speed Championship. Ricochet versus Guerrero 1-on-1. So Ricochet for the Speed Championship, kind of quite fitting for both of them. Both of them can fight for a championship, and we'll see how that's going to go down eventually and stuff. Well, Drew McIntyre may have said a lot of his words. We know that CM Punk this past Monday on Raw ripped McIntyre apart, saying that he cost him the world championship at WrestleMania. And McIntyre has Punk has been living in McIntyre's head rent free. And McIntyre went even further this morning on the Pat McAfee show, saying if he wasn't married, he'll take CM Punk's girl, his wife, I guess. But McIntyre is married, so McIntyre's got a prettier wife right now. Than AJ's pretty. McIntyre's wife is a little bit more beautiful. So hey, I think they're just trying to put the gasoline on the fire with this grudge. And you can tell this match will probably happen at SummerSlam. No question about it. At SummerSlam, we'll see this match. How this match is gonna go? It's gonna get personal, and personal indeed. Speaking of that, speaking of John Garro, we know that Garro was on SmackDown and as Tommaso Ciampa. They probably will be going for the WWE Tag Team Championship. So hopefully Garro and what else, we'll get there. Yeah, for the Tag Team Champion 8 time down under. They're probably having that SummerSlam, but they both started on SmackDown as regular unknowns nearly about 20 years ago. I remember Hassan's character when he was when he was Muhammad Hassan's Ciampa's character when he was Muhammad Hassan's lawyer and got attacked by the Undertaker. I kind of remember Johnny Gargano when he was on SmackDown. So SmackDown was kind of like the show where the oddies were coming forward. So hey, there you go. Speaking of that, JD Madonna took a cheap shot this past Monday on Raw and took the hit for Logan Paul with the nail him and tell over the top of his forehead and nailed by Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl rings. And JD Madonna said he will let it go if Logan Paul would give him some prime on his doorsteps and stuff. A crate of prime energy drink. So we could probably see that, but I think Patrick Mahomes, they probably didn't mean that well, but it doesn't make no sense of Logan Paul, Patrick Mahomes. But I think I can understand because of the brand, but it just didn't make no sense storyline wise when Patrick Mahomes was a hero in Kansas City attending Raw, so it just didn't make no sense. But hey, it is what it is. Dijak, the Raw star, letting everyone know that he's he's gonna be on Raw. He was waiting. He said he was wondering why he was texting. I just said he just texting because he knows what he needs to do. Well, Chad Gable, who wants to get his hands on the Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn, had a turn on against him at that good matchup they had. Once again, they said Sami had it coming. Who must you allow someone to get blindsided with a kick in the face, not retaliate? That makes you a coward, and that hate nothing more than a coward. You can tell they're gonna feud one way or another for the Intercontinental Championship with Bronson Reed in the middle. We're hearing reports that Redbeard, Eric Rowan has re-signed with WWE, maybe part of the new Wyatt family. So that could be the possibility for the Wyatt family returning back when you got Weird Beard coming back. So pay memory to Bray. Speaking of that, former WWE Women's and UFC Women's Champion Ronda Rousey has been making the news about her books and stuff. But one WWE announcer, Jimmy Smith, said Ronda had an attitude like no other, and Ronda didn't want to be associated with certain people. And I think Ronda Rousey made it clear on what she needed to do. But now they're doing an anti-smear campaign on Ronda Rousey about her character. I think what Ronda's going on. Speaking of a woman that Ronda was supposed to meet was the women's world champion, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, this is a picture of her posing with the championship. I guess being a rebel without cause. Becky Lynch making it seem like she makes it easy. She does make it easy indeed. So hey, good for Becky Lynch on that historic run. All right. I guess we're gonna end that right now here on the Raw on the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. Um, right now, this is the current list of the world champions. Cody, the WWE champion. Damian Priest, the world heavyweight champion of WWE on Raw. John Moxley, the New Japan Pro Wrestling IWGP champion. Nick Niemann, the Mexican champion. Swerve, the AEW champion. Moose, the TNA champion. Mark Briscoe, the Ring Honor champion. And EC3, the NWA champion. So, we're going to end the AEW Dynamite Ring Report with this despicable act that happened earlier tonight. As we saw, Kenny Omega got carried out of the stretcher by none of his former best friends, the Elite. Discard the man. They're just super despicable. We'll see you this Friday for the SmackDown Ring Report, then the Backlash predicted outcome, and the Backlash review. So I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. Thank you for watching the Pro Wrestling